Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and this is going to be a follow-up video on the Oakley Meta HSTN glasses. This is an AI-powered pair of sunglasses. If you guys did not catch my previous video on this, I will leave it linked above here, below, or at the end of this video. And in that video, it's more of an unboxing and initial impressions and a comparison between two of the models that are available in this style. So I had a ton of questions on my comments on that last video, especially as they relate to the clear frame with the clear to gray transition lenses. So for this video, I'm going to go ahead and do a kind of more deep dive look into the glasses themselves, talk a little bit about my experience, and hopefully answer some of the questions that I was getting in that other video. Now, I'm going to only be focusing on the clear frames, and that's because these do have the transition lenses in them, and it's the one that a lot of people were asking questions about. But as you know, based on that other video, I also have the warm gray with the prism ruby lenses, but I'll be focusing on this one for this video. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the case here, just because it's a very important accessory that does come supplied with the glasses themselves. It is an Oakley branded case. It's nice and hard. It does protect the glasses very, very nicely. You do get an LED in the front right here, which does give you some information regarding what's going on with the glasses. And then at the bottom here, you do have a USB Type-C charging port, which allows you to charge the case up. And then in the back, you do have a pairing button, which allows you to pair the glasses if something happens. But if you go through the app, you can go ahead and pair them very quickly. Now, as far as the case goes, the case does allow you to have an extra 48 hours of battery life to the glasses themselves. So it gives you basically an extra 2 days of battery. So without having to recharge the case itself, you can recharge your glasses up to 48 hours. In order to fully charge the case, it takes about 3.5 hours using that USB-C port. Now, you do not get a USB-C cable included in the packaging, but those are pretty standard nowadays, and if not, you can go ahead and purchase one fairly cheap, either through online or at any of the big box stores. Also, the glasses themselves, once they are fully charged, and I'm getting some of this information based off of Oakley's website directly. It tells you that it does give you about 8 hours on a single charge of usage. Now, obviously, that is going to be dependent on what you're going to be doing with the glasses. Now, in my experience, I've been using these glasses for the past 2 weeks now, doing everything from using the assistant to listening to music, phone calls, pictures, videos, and stuff like that. And on a heavy usage day, taking a lot of pictures, taking a lot of videos, I get about 3.5 to 4 hours, of continuous usage. If I'm maybe using it a little bit here and there, I do get closer to that 8-hour mark. But I think to get to that 8-hour mark, it's probably going to be very, very minimal usage. Just maybe an assistant question here and there throughout the day, and that's pretty much it. So just keep that in mind, that 8 hours that they tell you on a single charge is dependent on your total usage. Now, talking about some of the other things on the glasses themselves, they do have, actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and take the glasses out of the case here. So the case does open up. As you guys can see, that LED did light up green. It's telling me that they are charged. So I'll go ahead and remove the glasses from here. And again, this is the clear frame with the clear to gray transition lenses. Now, taking a closer look at the glasses themselves. All right. Couple of internal specs on them. This does have a 32 gigabyte flash memory built on board. And what that does is it allows you to actually save anywhere from 500 plus photos or 100 plus 30-second videos. So again, depending on how much you're using it and stuff like that, the onboard memory does give you a lot of room to store a lot of pictures and a lot of videos. Now again, the videos is going to be at that 30-second capacity, but you do have the ability to extend the recording length up to 3 minutes. That's what I think the majority of folks are going to be setting it at. You can do that through the app. I have it set at 3 minutes. So basically what that means is that you start recording, it gives you 3 minutes to record, and then it stops recording. Now, you will get an audible chime when it stops recording, but also the glasses on the inside of the frame right in here, and it's kind of difficult to see with the clear frame. There is an LED in here that actually pulsates when it's recording, so you know that it's recording those videos. So again, 500 plus photos or 100 plus 30-second videos. Talking about the camera to take pictures and video, this does have a built-in 12 megapixel camera. The camera is actually located in the little hole right here on your left side. So contrary to popular belief, you do not get two cameras. You only get one camera, which is here on the left side. So as you're wearing it, it's going to be on the left side. And then the other side is actually going to be an LED. Now what the LED does is it actually flashes when you take a picture. It's not a flash, it just flashes to let somebody know you took a picture, or it pulsates as you're recording the video. And that's there for security purposes. Obviously, you know, they don't want anybody kind of, you know, recording people without their knowledge, so that is an LED. So again, just keep that in mind. The actual camera lens is going to be over here on the left, and that's important is if you're going to be recording or taking pictures of something up close, because if you have the glasses on and you're holding the item right in the middle, it's going to be like off center towards the right. So I was actually toying with the idea of recording a video, like a review video, hands, you know, where you see my hands. And when I started trying to do that, a lot of the video, the stuff was like on this side. So I had to either remember to look this way or to keep it in the middle. But if you're going to be using it to record, you know, just POV views, you know, basically what you see in front of you, you're not going to have to worry about it because it's going to be so close to your eyesight that it's going to look exactly like what you're looking at. So again, 12 megapixel camera. And then for video purposes, you do have a 3K video camera which records up to 30 frames per second. So that is going to be a really, really good resolution on the video, especially coming out of a pair of glasses that's basically sitting on top of your head. So again, you know, as far as cameras go, you know, it's going to be able to do pretty much whatever it is that you're going to need it for, just everyday usage, recording, you know, life memories, sports things and stuff like that. You're not going to have to worry about it. It's going to be able to do that very nicely. Now, one of the things that really caught me off guard was this does have a pair of built-in open ear speakers, and what that means is that right underneath here, so this portion right here on both sides of the glasses, it's actually an open ear speaker, and what it means is that it's basically shooting the sound into your ear. It doesn't go inside of your ear. And when I say it caught me off guard is because if you put the music or whatever it is that you're listening to loud enough, and if you're in a very quiet environment, folks are going to be able to hear what you're, you know, either depending on how loud you have it, they could hear that there's something going on there, or if you have it really loud, they can actually hear what you're listening to. So just keep that in mind. If you're in an office setting or something like that, you know, you're going to want to make sure that you ask somebody else, like, hey, can you hear, you know, what I'm listening to? And they might tell you, well, I can hear that you're hearing something, but I can't make it out. So you just got to tone down the volume a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Along with the two open ear speakers, you do have 5 microphones built into the glasses themselves, and that is really awesome. You have one on each side of the icon. It actually sits right inside. You can barely see it on this frame because it is clear. Then you have a couple in the middle. I don't know where the 5th one is, but I know it's a 5 mic array, and that's really good because it gives you good. It picks up sound basically all around you. So if you're talking, you know, in a call, you know, you're in a phone call, or if you're talking to the assistant, or if you're doing like the translation service that you have, it's going to pick up your voice very, very nicely. In the videos, you will see that, you know, you'll hear pretty nicely what the person's saying when they're wearing the glasses. Now, I mentioned you do have a lot of other features that are built into the glass. So one of those is going to be obviously the Meta AI, which is your assistant, and it can do so many things. You can ask it, what am I looking at? You know, and it's going to, through the camera lens, it's going to, you know, recognize what you're looking at, and it'll tell you what you're looking at. You can ask it pretty much anything else that you would ask any other assistant. And then also what it does have is it has the live voice translation. So what that means is that as you're wearing the glasses, you can set it up, and this is done through the app, you know, to basically listen to, you know, the language that the person is speaking to you in, and then in your ears it will actually translate into whatever language you want it. So if somebody's speaking in French and you want to translate it into English, you'll be able to hear it right inside of or right through the open ear mic there, which is going to be pointed right at your ears, which is really, really nice. As far as the controls on the glasses, you do have two types of controls. You have touch controls, which is done by this button at the top right here. So with that button, you can do different things, take pictures, record videos and stuff like that. And then you have touch controls on the side right here. So this portion here is actually a controller, and you could tap it, and then you could swipe up and down to go up and down on the volume, and tap it to do different things. So you can actually set that up through the app itself. And then also, besides the physical touch controls, you also have voice controls. So you can actually ask the assistant to do a lot of the different things. So you can ask it to take pictures, record videos, and do different things that the glasses would normally do. So that's pretty much an overview on the majority of the features of the Oakley Meta Houstons here. Again, you do have a lot of different features that you can set up through the application itself. So obviously you would download that. When you take pictures and you take video, it automatically loads it into the application, and you can choose to automatically download it or download it manually, and then actually saves onto the memory of your phone as well. So if you save it onto the phone, then you can pretty much delete it off of the app, which deletes it off the internal memory, and then that frees up some space. So that's always a good thing, because again, as I mentioned, you do only have the 32 gigabytes of onboard memory. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to splice in some clips that I took so you guys can see a couple different things. The first one is going to be how the lenses actually transition, so how they go from clear all the way up to gray when I walk outside into a sunny day. I know a lot of folks wanted to see that. Gray is a color that allows 11% of light into the lens, so it's not as dark as a black lens. I think black lets in about 9%, but it is fairly dark. And as far as sunglasses go, they do what they're supposed to do. It's pretty good. So I'm going to splice in that video, and then also give you a couple of videos on me actually wearing the glasses and recording around, so you guys can see the resolution, the clarity, the color definition, and things like that on how it works. And then after that, I'll just come back and give you my final impressions. So I've been receiving some requests of folks wanting to see what the clear to gray transition lenses look like and how dark they get on the Oakley Metas. So I figured I'd go ahead and walk outside. I'm currently in my garage, so this is the clear lenses. So this is pretty much as clear as they're going to get. It's just a regular clear lens in there. As I walk out, the UV rays will hit the lenses and they'll start to darken up. Now, just for context, it's about 5 o'clock. The sun is kind of setting, so let's see what that does. So I'll go ahead and start walking out here. I'm actually going to turn and face the sun directly. Hopefully you'll be able to see in real time how quickly the lenses do darken up. And again, they go from clear to gray. Gray is not the darkest lens, but in my use and my experience, it's been dark enough for a pair of sunglasses. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is because the frame is clear, you are going to get a little bit more light coming from the sides. So that might make the lens look not as dark. But I can tell you that, again, it's very quick how they turn from clear to gray. And, it's a good experience. The other question that I have been getting is, are you able to tell when you're physically wearing the glasses when they're, darkening up? And I tell you, it happens so quickly. The only way that I can tell is because if I'm in direct sunlight, I go from having to squint a little bit when it's the clear lens to not having to squint that much or at all when they turn all the way to gray. So as you can see, that was very quick. I really do like the transition lenses, especially for the Oakley Metas here. And I hope that was a good explanation and a good visualization of how quickly they do transition and how dark they get. All right, so now I've switched over to the frames themselves, giving you a POV or point of view look through the glasses themselves. Again, you can see my shadow there on the ground. You can see I am totally hands-free. You can see my hands right in front of me. So this is a great, great option. If you just want to capture your everyday life, there is no need for you to be any type of influencer or athlete or anything like that. A regular everyday person will get some really good use out of these glasses. Again, especially if you want to be able to be hands-free and just walk around and basically capture whatever your eyes are going to see. And that's the main difference between having a camera built into the glasses themselves as opposed to actually holding a camera, either a phone or a dedicated camera, in your hand to record. A lot of times, you tend to be watching things behind a viewfinder, behind a screen. This is going to be basically whatever it is that you're seeing is what you're going to get. So I wanted to kind of shoot this so you guys can see the color definition. I have a bunch of different colors right here, from the red cars to the green grass to, just people going by, as you guys can see there, in the scooters and their bikes and stuff like that. So, this is a great option to be able to capture those moments in an instant. Again, if you're already wearing the glasses on your head, you can go ahead and ask the assistant to go ahead and start recording, or you can go ahead and press the button to do that. So hopefully this is a good representation of how you would go ahead and do that. All right, so I wanted to share another video with the Oakley Metas. I felt like maybe that previous video was, I was turning my head a little bit too much, maybe too jerky. So I figured I would, take it a little bit easier now. As you guys can see, I have this kind of little lake in front of me here. So I'm just kind of panning through, taking a look at what my eyes can see. So, it does a really good job at reproducing the colors. So the greens are looking really nice. The blues in the sky with the clouds are looking really nice. So hopefully that gets rendered in the video nicely and you guys can appreciate that. So again, I'm trying to kind of pan from side to side so you guys can get an example. I'll go ahead and start walking. And one of the other things that people wanted to see is maybe what is the image stabilization like on the Oakley Metas, especially if you're going to be using them for activities where you might actually be walking a little bit faster or maybe running. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now. I just kind of walk this way, so I'll walk a little bit faster this way, maybe jog a little bit. So hopefully it's doing a good job at keeping everything nice and steady, nice and centered. Again, it all depends on where your head is as you're doing that. So if you're running straight ahead and looking straight ahead, the video will be a lot more stable than if you're kind of looking all around. So hopefully this is a good look at another angle of what you can do with the Oakley Meta sunglasses. All right, so hopefully that helped answer a lot of the questions that I was getting regarding some of the different things. The first one is obviously what the lenses look like when they transition from clear all the way to gray. Again, remember this is a clear frame, so it is going to let in a little bit more light than a darker frame will, but I still think that the gray lenses are a great option, especially if you're going to want to have something that you can wear inside and have clear lenses, and then outside and the lenses be gray without you physically having to change the lenses on them. And then also just to look at what the video quality and the color definition and stuff like that, I think it looks really well. Again, I'm not going to color correct any of those shots, so they're going to be exactly the way that they're coming off of the glasses themselves. So you're seeing the true color definition and how it records at that 3K at 30 frames per second. I think it's really good for what it is. Now, as far as my final impressions on the glasses themselves, is it something that I think that everybody should run out and get? No. I don't think that these are for everybody. It's one of those things where, depending on what you do, it's depending on your life. If you're the type of person that's always out and about taking pictures and videos and stuff like that, then this is obviously a great option to have. It might not be your end-all option. It's not going to replace your smartphone. Your smartphone's going to do basically everything that the glasses are going to do. The only thing that your smartphone is not going to have is audio piped right into your ear. That's the only difference. But if you have a pair of headphones or earpods or something like that, or AirPods, you can go ahead and put those in and it's going to be the same thing. But again, if you're a content creator, if you're a person that loves taking pictures and you want to go hands-free and stuff like that, this is a really good option. Not necessarily just these, but I think this obviously has the backing from Oakley. It's got the technology in it from Meta, and it's a great, in my opinion, a great melding of the two companies to come out with a really, really awesome product. Now, I do like the fact that this is built on an Oakley frame, just because, again, I am an Oakley collector, an Oakley user, and I do like that. But as far as like, should everybody be going out and running and picking these up? No. I think, just maybe do your homework, think about your usage, because again, you are going to be spending anywhere from $400 to almost $500, depending on the pair and lens combination that you get, on something that you might not be using every day. So if you do wear prescription glasses and you wanted to put prescription lenses into this frame or any of the other color frames, you are able to do that as well. So maybe that's another option. If you feel like, you know what, if I put my prescription lenses in, it's going to force me to use the frames more often, then yeah, by all means, I would say go ahead and do that. Just remember that it's something else, electronic, that you're going to be carrying, that you have to keep charged, that you have to make sure that it doesn't get wet, because even though it is water resistant, it is not waterproof, so it cannot be submerged or anything like that, and it's going to be water resistant up to a certain time, up to a certain point. You know, it can't be a downpour and you're going to be wearing them and expect them to be perfectly fine. But again, you know, simple splash here and there, or if you know, it starts raining and you know, get underneath an umbrella or duck cover and stuff like that, then you're not going to have to worry about it. But all in all, I think if you're looking to test them out, I think it's a great frame. It's a great option, especially if you're a techie person and you love technology and stuff like that. I think you will like it. As far as the frame goes, the frame I'm 50-50 on. I love the look of the clear, just because, you know, it's you see all the inner workings and everything on the frame itself. But some of the things like, you know, the LEDs and stuff like that on a darker frame, they're going to be easier to see, especially the one here on the inside. It's going to be easier to see. So if you're worried about being able to see that, and not saying that you won't be able to, it's just because it is clear. It's kind of a little difficult sometimes. But also, if you just prefer a frame that's one color, then, you know, I would understand that. The lenses, though, I would definitely, you know, if you don't wear prescription and you want to make sure that you're getting the best out of both worlds, being able to use them indoors and outdoors, I would definitely pick the transition. And I know that they have another color transition that goes from a clear to like a purple. I forgot what the actual, I think it's amethyst or something like that color. So those are options. That's a black frame. But I know that there are a lot of companies, especially like aftermarket companies, that are coming out with replacement lenses for this particular model, and some of those are going to be transition as well. So, you know, that's always something to keep an eye on. So again, my final note on this is, if you're into technology and you want to go ahead and test them out, by all means go ahead and do that. I love the clear frame, so if you can find it, I would say go for that one. If you're on the fence about it, you know, maybe if you know somebody that has one, you know, ask to borrow them or something like that, and, you know, use them, or think about what your usage is going to be before you actually drop the money on them, because I would hate for you to be disappointed. But again, I hope that helped to answer a lot of the questions that I was getting regarding this particular frame. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. As I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and link that video that I did on the other one, so you can see the comparison between this one and the regular pair of sunglasses, if you guys are interested in seeing that as well. So there it is. Look at the Oakley Meta HSTN in the clear frame with the clear to gray polarized, or not polarized, transition lenses. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.